Hey, Kurt Papke coming to you from Tucson, Arizona. Most hikers know that tortillas make a great backcountry food. They last a week or more, they're compact, they're inexpensive, and they're very versatile. Problem is, most folks, the most they do with them is maybe make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Today I'm going to give you 6 ideas to step up your game and crank it up a notch and get more out of the tortillas that you take on the trail. Or maybe if you've never taken tortillas on the trail, maybe today will provide you with enough ideas that you'll be motivated to go out and buy some tortillas for your next hike. So I have 6 tips today, and in the show notes down below, I've got clickable links that will take you to each of those 6 tips so that you can just watch the ones you're interested in. Here we go.
Hey, Kurt Papke coming to you from an ancient eating place, a food preparation place up in the Santa Catalina Mountains outside of Tucson. And I'm sitting on a metate. This is where the Native Americans used to come up here and grind acorns into flour in this rock. And centuries of grinding have created these nice little indentations here. And this is where I'm having lunch. The acorns come from the oak trees overhead, and there doesn't seem to be too many this year, but in years past there have been a number of them. So this video is on tortillas, and today I'm going to show you how to make PB&J without the J. So we're going to use peanut butter, which I have in this Nalgene right here. We're going to use some raisins instead of the J. So raisins are much more portable. They don't get all gooey and sticky and all over the place. And if you think about it, raisins are dehydrated grapes, and where does grape jelly come from? It's nothing but grapes with a little sugar in it. So anyway, we're going to make PB&J with raisins today. So let's crack open our trusty tortilla, and we'll spread with some peanut butter, very carefully portioned, of course. So there's our nice sticky, gooey peanut butter on our tortilla. Won't even fall off. And then on top of that, we just take our raisins and we sprinkle some raisins on top of our peanut butter. And there you've got a no mess, no fuss peanut butter and grape jelly sandwich. Pretty darn good. It's not quite like having jelly. It's not quite as sweet, but it's really not bad. All right, let's look at another tortilla technique. Next, we're going to look at toasting a tortilla, just heating it up. Normally, if you were at home, you put it on a griddle, and what I'm going to do here is just put it over the flame really briefly to warm it. And you got to be careful, it gets hot pretty quick. You don't want to burn yourself on the hot tortilla here, but I am literally putting it right over the flame to toast it up and get it nice and warm and golden delicious. And there we go. Really doesn't take all that long, doesn't really require that much gas from your gas canister. And from there you could put a little butter on there or just roll it up and have yourself a hot tortilla. Much better than the cold ones, no doubt about it. Okay, it's time for our next tortilla tip. So this is a good one if you've got some
maybe some younger kids who like cinnamon rolls, they're into Cinnabon or something like that. So we're gonna start out by just lightly toasting one side of our tortilla here. Okay, lightly toasted tortilla. And we're going to take a little butter, or in this case some ghee, and we're going to spread it on there. And of course, as in all good YouTube videos, my gas ran out at this point. So presto changeo, time to change gas canisters on the fly. This is what happens with these smaller propane canisters. They don't last all that long, and you want to use the rest of them up. So consequently, so anyway, I've got my ghee on that side, and by toasting the other side of the tortilla, we'll even melt that butter down a little bit more. Careful of the fingers when you're doing this. It's easy to get burnt. And now, of course, in order to make a cinnamon roll, you need cinnamon sugar, which is what this is. So we're going to sprinkle some cinnamon sugar on our tortilla as the butter runs down onto the rock. But hey, we're outside, so anything goes. And then we're going to add a couple raisins. These, of course, are optional. You could just do the cinnamon sugar, but a couple raisins on there makes it kind of special. And there we go. Roll her up. And we have a backcountry cinnamon roll. Wow. I may be 66 years old. I'm not a little kid anymore, but the little kid in me really likes this. In the morning, it's a pretty good light breakfast. Or in this case, it's about mid-morning. Really nice mid-morning snack. The cinnamon flavor and the raisins and the toasted tortilla, that's killer. Today in the Sonoran Desert. In this case, I have a nice fishhook barrel cactus right next to me to kind of keep me company. Today's terrific tortilla tip is going to be a tortilla with cheese and pulled pork. Here in the taco shops in Tucson, they call this a Caramelo. Okay, it's typically made with 2 tortillas, but I'm just going to use 1 today, just to keep things simple. So let's first freshen up our tortilla a little bit over our stove here, just to toast it up. Okay, it's nice and warm. So now, the cheese we're going to use today is mozzarella. Typically this is done with like a Monterey Jack or something like that, but I'm using mozzarella. This is string cheese. I often carry string cheese on my trips because it keeps pretty well. In this case, it also comes in mozzarella, which is nice because it's nice and melty. And we want to melt our cheese today here for our Caramelo. So now we've got our nice low melting point mozzarella cheese, and now I'm going to do something may look a little dangerous, but it's really not all that bad. You just point your stove. This only works with canister stove, obviously. I wouldn't try this with an alcohol stove or anything else, but the cheese will start to melt a little bit. You got to be careful. This is a little bit warm. It'll start to to brown before, and maybe burn before it gets too melty. But the whole idea is to kind of warm it up a little bit and toast it for our caramello. So there we go. There we have our melty cheese. And today I'm using, Simply Shredz came out with a new flavor that they sent me of their pulled pork, which is sriracha flavored. So now we're going to put some of that nice sriracha without the desiccant packet on top of our melty cheese. And there we go. Now we've got a tortilla with melted cheese and some pulled pork. And now a caramello is typically served flat like a sandwich, where they use a second tortilla on top. But it's just easier when you're out in the backcountry just to roll it up. Now this makes a really good trail lunch. It's filling, it's flavorful. Boy, that'll keep you going for a while. Okay, next up is a dessert. And this would be appropriate for kids. So what we're going to make is something somewhat similar to our cinnamon roll, but instead of raisins or anything like that, we're going to use applesauce. So basically this is going to be a poor man's apple pie. So what I have here is a little single serving, shelf-stable thing of apple pie. And you really use any kind of fruit for this. You could use fresh raspberries even, or a dried fruit. But today, I'm opting for apples and applesauce. So there's our applesauce. Then we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar on top of that to sweeten it up, make it nice and tasty. And then roll it up. And there we have kind of a poor man's apple pie, but not a bad trail dessert or something for the kids. Really not bad. Beats eating applesauce straight out of the container. And the tortilla kind of gives you that flavor of a crust or something like that. And the cinnamon sugar and the applesauce, hey, just like apple pie. And you could heat this up, just like I did with some of the other tortilla dishes to warm it up a little bit, make a warm apple pie. But little trail dessert, fresh hot apple pie on the trail made with a tortilla, applesauce, and cinnamon sugar. All right, just getting ready to start dinner here up on the Arizona Trail. And tonight's meal is a variant of Andrew Skirka's beans and rice burrito. In this bag we have minute rice and refried beans, cheese, fritos. These are the magic ingredient that really give it the crunch. Our tortillas are Simply Shredz pulled pork. Andrew Skirka's recipe is vegetarian. He doesn't put any meat in his, but I thought this would be a good combo to try out Simply Shredz. My beans and rice are rehydrated, and I know I'm cutting off my head here, but I wanted you to be able to see what the heck I'm making. So now I'm gonna spoon this delicious mixture. Now I've got my Simply Shredz pork that I'm just gonna take some of that. And now we have some cheese. The pre-shredded cheese doesn't keep very well on the trail, so I'm having this the first night that I'm out so that it doesn't get moldy on me. If you use like a block of cheddar, that works a lot better. Now the pièce de la résistance. But no, Skirka uses taco seasoning, and I'm just using a little Tabasco sauce to give this a little bit of heat here. We'll see how that works. So I'm using up all my Tabasco on this one. And then we'll attempt to do a burrito roll here, which is never easy. All right, here we go. That's really good. Nothing like being out here in the wilderness, in the mountains. Beautiful evening, shirt sleeve weather. Having a great meal. And of course, a nip of tequila. But I gotta say, the Fritos in here are the magic ingredient. That crunch that comes in with the beans and rice mixture and the Simply Shredz pork. It was just great. You know, it's not so much the flavor. It's the sound. You hear the crunch in your ears. Great meal. I really recommend this. Great combination. Everything's available off the shelf. Beans and the rice you get at Walmart. Same thing with the Fritos. Simply Shredz, you just order off the internet. Tortillas you get from your local grocery store. Great meal.
Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. And if it was, please click like or subscribe down below, or leave me a comment or question. I'm happy to answer questions that come in from viewers, and I try to get to them as soon as I possibly can. Again, thanks for watching.